Hey y'all, this is Amanda and welcome back to my Texas Zone 8A garden, and today I'm in the backyard and we are going to be prepping one of the raised beds to plant some hardy annuals such as snapdragons, lambada, and scabiosa. Okay, we are back in the backyard. And this is one of my raised beds from this year. It is filled with lots of corn stalks, which have done okay. I haven't actually produced a lot of corn from them. And the corn that has been produced is not fully fertilized. Is that what I'm looking for? Meaning like the corn on the cobs only have a little bit of kernels on it. I'll show you guys some of them. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go cut back all the corn stalks, put them off to the side to dry as decoration for the fall. And then we have a whole bunch of basil in here. We have cardinal basil, which is my new favorite basil. And we also have purple ruffles basil. I'm going to be harvesting right to about this point right here. I'm going to harvest everything off to this side. The basil is going to go in arrangements, and I'm also going to be doing some dry techniques with the basil so I can utilize it throughout the winter season. And then so this side of the bed is going to get cleared out, and we're going to be filling this portion of the bed with snapdragons. Now I actually have a snapdragon bed over here. However, it is going to be shifting over into some different stuff. It's also still in bloom, so I don't want to pull everything up at this point. And so we're just going to concentrate on this portion today. So let's go ahead and get this bed cleared out, and then we'll talk about the next step. Okay, so I grew a couple of types of corn. I grew glass gems, and that's the one where it's like multiple colors. And you can see that this is mainly what they ended up looking like, right? Only partially fertilized. So while I did get some kernels, not all the way, but hey, it's my first time growing corn. It's pretty fun. And I was growing them more for the stalks than anything else. And then I also grew the white, triple crown white, which actually did really well. However, I left it on so long that a lot of little critters and stuff got to the corn. But no problem. Like I said, I'm growing it for the stalks anyway. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out all my stalks and I'm going to bundle them all together. And then I'll use them for some decor for fall. And basically, I'm just laying them on top of each other in a bundle, and then I'm taking a little bit of twine. The twine's just from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to tie them securely in a bundle, and then let me show you where they're going to go. Okay, and so here we are on my front porch. So what I wanted to do is I was just going to tuck these back behind the skull, just for a little bit of height and interest. And then these green ones will continue to dry out, but I think this looks fun and that fills that space really well. If you didn't catch my porch makeover for the fall, make sure you go check that out. Okay, so next let's get a bunch of this basil harvested. I'm going to be cutting it all the way to the stem, the base of the plant. I'm not pulling up all the roots and stuff. I'll just leave them in there to rot and add more nutrients to the plant. Okay, I'm going to leave this basil here at the end for now so that it can keep producing. And I can enjoy it for some cut flowers for another month or so. I have a big piece over here that's falling down. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a stake to hold it up. All right, there we go. Let's get all of this basil stripped and in water. Okay, so basically I've divided it into two piles. I've got over here, I've got stuff I'm going to utilize for arrangements, and then I've got a pile over here for drying, and I'll try to get a video made of the drying process for basil. If any of you guys are in my situation and have a ton to harvest. But let's go over and finish getting that raised bed prepped and planted. Okay, a little bit more about what's going over here. I have white mignonette planted over here. I was very unhappy with the white mignonette, and I don't plan on planting that next year. I might stew on it a little bit and then decide if I want to plant it again in the future. It's so hard to judge plants by this past year because the weather was so weird, and it was unseasonably cold, and then it got hot real fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull that up, remove it from the garden. I've got some weeds in here. Now, these guys right here are called Sweet Rocket Pale Lavender, and they are biennials. So this first year they grew their green, and then next year they'll actually give me blooms. So I'm going to be leaving those for now. But let's go ahead. I'm going to check this to make sure that my lines are okay, my drip lines are okay, and then I'm going to layer in some compost. Okay, the lines look good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just layer in some light compost on the top part of the soil. This soil has dropped because this was a new bed this last year. But I'm going to go ahead and put in some compost. It's going to pull my drip lines down a little bit under the soil, but I'm not necessarily opposed to that. It does make it a little bit harder in the future to be able to detect if there's an issue with the drip lines. And I'm just going to work this compost in under some of the Sweet Rocket. And then next I'm going to go ahead and add in this time release fertilizer. This is a Spoma flower tone. Okay, in this area I'm going to be planting two kinds of snapdragons. Put a photo up on the screen so you guys, where are you guys? There you are. So you can see the first mix is Berry Blend Potomac, and the second mix is Potomac's Early Sunrise, and it is a mix of several. And so basically I grew these from seed, and I just grew them in the little soil blocks. And basically what I'm going to do, start over here, is I'm just going to pull out a soil block. I'm going to make a little hole, get my soil block in, boom, done. And I'm going to fill them pretty close, about 4 inches apart, because I want to have a really saturated garden over here. And we'll get these in, and then we'll get everything watered, and then we'll talk about them. Okay, now as I'm watering these in, I don't want to water on top of the seedling leaves and forcing the seedlings down. What I'm doing is I'm watering around the base of the seedlings, trying to work out any air pockets, giving them some nice saturated water. Just walking around like this. We're not watering from overhead because we don't want to damage all these seedlings. I am not expecting any kind of flowers from them right now. These are all planted as hardy annuals. So all they're going to be doing right now during the fall and winter is establishing roots, and then they should begin blooming early spring. Okay, so we still have some room over here. So a couple more seedlings that I have over here are lambada, bee balm, and I lost several of them. That's why I need to go ahead and get them in. So basically what I'm going to do is pull the little seedling out, make a little hole for it, and tuck it in. I think I ended up, for lambada, I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seedlings. So let me just go ahead, just use my knife to kind of gently lift these out of the container, pop them in. These are also hardy annuals, right? So the goal right now is just to get them into the ground and then allow them time over the fall and winter to build up roots. It's been a lot of years since I've grown bee balm, so this will be fun. All right, got those in. Just dumping out the extra soil over here. Okay, next I have Scabiosa Fata Morgana, and I'll put up photos so you can see what this looks like. It looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seedlings. Let's get these guys in too. Scabiosas are an excellent cut flower. Okay, let's get those watered in too. Remembering once again, we're not trying to water on top of the seedlings, we're trying to water around the base of them. We don't want to weigh down the foliage. Just trying to settle that soil in around them, get rid of any kind of air pockets. Yay! Look at that! Okay, I think it looks really great. Now, this guy right here is leaving, so just ignore that. He won't be there. But this bed looks really good. I'm excited. Filled with snapdragons, the sweet rocket, and scabiosa. And then once this is done over here, the basil, I might tuck in a few bulbs or something over in that corner. We'll see. But it looks really good. If you haven't checked out my video on hardy annuals, you should definitely search my channel for that. There is a search place within a channel if you go to my page on YouTube, She's a Mad Gardener, and you click on the little search area, you can look up hardy annuals and watch the whole video on that to show you how to get a jump start for the spring. All right, garden's looking good. Look at the Tithony up here. It's ridiculous. Oh, look at this monarch butterfly over here. See him hanging out? We've had monarch butterflies in our garden so much lately. Let's see if we've got any over here by the zinnias. Yesterday, oh yeah, there's a ton over here. You guys see all those guys? Tons. Absolutely beautiful. They love zinnias. They're migrating right now. They'll be here for a couple of days and then they'll be gone. My daughter and I were standing out here last night, just standing by it and enjoying them flying around. They're so beautiful. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's video. We basically cleared out the raised bed. We had a whole bunch of basil in there. I cut back all the corn stalks, cleared out the white mignonette, and then we went back and replanted two types of mixes for snapdragons, Potomac Sunrise and Potomac Berry Mix. Yeah, that's right. And so got those both planted. Also planted in some lambada and some Fata Morgana scabiosa. Beautiful. So excited to get these in the garden and get going. All right, you guys. As always, she's a mad gardener or decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.